exercise we're going to do today is an exercise in getting creative with Photoshop. We're using some very basic things in Photoshop, and they're designed, this exercise is designed to get you experimenting with different finishes that you can do. So the first thing we need to do is open Photoshop, and let's create a new file, and we'll just call it Creative Images. And the size of it, we need it to be 5148 by 3456. And I'll just go OK to that. Then we're going to import from the library. We're going to import, go into File, Import. No, Fireplace, sorry, Fireplace. And it's probably going to be from your desktop right now, because I've just had you do some things on your desktop. Got Brisbane Images. Okay, let's grab the Story Bridge one. And you can just tick to accept that. Slightly the wrong size somehow, I don't know, but anyway. And then we're going to place another file over this. And the one we're going to place over this is the image of the blurred lights at night. And you can press the return or enter key, or this little tick button up here. Now, very basically, what we're going to do is we're going to now go into the blending mode. So if you come over here to the right hand side of the screen, you'll see that we've got our two layers. The Story Bridge layer on the bottom, and the second layer, image 9009. So whilst 9009 is highlighted, just go and go lighter colour. Right, see what happens there? Now we can see the Story Bridge. Basically the black in image 9009 has been taken out, and we're left with the Story Bridge. If we go darker colour, the colours have been made black and the image has just left the black with the Story Bridge showing through. If we go into subtract, we get a difference. We get this sort of iridescent blue happening in some places. If we go into divide, we sort of flare out and get all that white. If we go into hue, it goes rather sedate, black and whitish with a little bit of yellow highlighting, but also some blue streaks through it. Linear light, you get a different effect yet again. And how many, there's maybe 15 to 20 different ways that you can blend those modes together. Then of course the other option is, we can put image 9009 back to normal, grab Story Bridge and put it as the top layer. And then as the top layer, we can make it a darker colour. We can get a screen colour lightening it. We can lighten it. And we're getting much the same effects, but there is a little bit of difference to it. And another thing that we can do in this is I'm going to grab the Story Bridge and I'm going to pull it back down onto the bottom layer, and using Command J on the Mac or Control J on a Windows machine, you will duplicate the layer that was highlighted. I've duplicated layer with the image 9009 on it. Now I'm going to turn off the Story Bridge layer, and if I go Shift Command E on the Mac or Shift Control E on a Windows machine, it will make one layer. It will combine those two layers into one, which makes it an editable object. I'm going to turn back on my Story Bridge layer, and now that I have an editable object, I'm going to come here into my edit mode. I'm going to come into transform, and I'm going to my warp mode. Now you'll see I've got a little grid that's come up with grab handles, and I'm going to just play around with these grab handles and get some things happening with the light. Like, that's quite beautiful really in itself. And I'm just going to do a little bit, but you can take this as far as you like. Now what I can do, now that I've done that, if I go into my blend mode and I lighten the colour on that, I've got this array of rainbow coming across the Story Bridge in Brisbane. Very simply. And I'm going to end that lesson there because I think you should get experimenting on your own. And you can duplicate layers, you can warp the story bridge, you can do all sorts of things. The main thing is that you have fun and you learn that you can be creative using Photoshop. It's not just a precision, even though it's very precise. It's not just a precision program, it's also a creative and a compositing program that you can have a lot of fun with. But something that you can do is you can save that layer as a layer on its own as a PNG file, drop that over a movie or put it into other things. I'm just going to leave it there and I'm going to save it as a creative images, I've called it there. Press save. And that is the end of our creative images lesson. Have fun.